Let's start with the right on red. This little scenario I've been testing for the past couple of years, and it failed almost all the time on version 11. Since version 12, it's been getting over early into this lane because over these railroad tracks, I need to make another lane change to get into a left turn lane. But first, a look at today's drive. 132 miles, a lot of these back road 55 mile an hour divided lanes. Great efficiency on my car, however. So the biggest problem with this build is the auto speed on these back roads. But back to this turn, once it gets over the railroad tracks, it needs to get in the left turn lane and then make a left turn. But on version 11, it always got trapped in the far right lane, waited way too long to try to make left turn, and then invariably would get blocked out. Not a lot of traffic today, so it's going to easily make this left turn. Probably wouldn't hurt to see it creep up a bit into the intersection, but I can't say that this version is that much better for me than 12.3.6 had been in the past. So let's look at some of the clips from today. Our first issue was this right upcoming. It's an angled road. The car has to creep up pretty far to be able to see cars from the left. It stops at 0, then it proceeds up. It's almost like it caught itself off guard. Now it sees a car from the left. It does stop, but the cars turning left, I think, are blocking it to a certain degree. So I might have accidentally tugged the steering wheel. I can't remember for sure, but this was not handled that great in this situation. As I mentioned, the auto speed's the biggest problem. We're already in a 50 mile an hour zone. We just passed another 50 sign. I've got a truck behind me, but I know I've got a 55 sign coming up here in a few seconds. So I'll see if we get a better speed setting once we hit this 55. It's coming up on the right. You've watched the screen. It's going to catch up to the 55 here in about a second. The car's not going to increase its speed very much. At all. So I went up to 48, but I'm going to start to press the accelerator here to get myself up to the speed limits. I've got this truck behind me. I'm going to get up to about 58, let off, and then the car is going to eventually just start ramping back down again. So we'll watch this go down to the 50s, 55, and I'm going to hit the accelerator again once it gets down. So you're still going down, back to 50, 49 again. This is not great. So I'm gonna hit the accelerator again to see if how long it's gonna stick. Once we get over this next little hump here in the road, it'll start to ramp down yet again. Now I do have this truck behind me. Now that this car's passed, he's going to take advantage of this open space. He's going to pass me here on the left. You can see kind of how people speed on this road. What's funny is we're going to catch up to this truck again a couple miles, so speeding didn't really help him at all in terms of, you know, making time and distance. So yeah, this is the biggest frustration I have with this build right now, is this bad auto speed settings. Best situation to handle today, car cuts in front. I almost took over, but I could sense I think the car was going to make it, and it did a really nice job there of anticipating that car. Our next issue is this motorcycle. My car just gets too uncomfortably close to them, so I'm going to take over. No huge danger, but this is a wide angle camera, so it's closer than it looks, and just didn't like, I really like some more space here, so I just disengage just to give them some room. I'm sure if he sees me and feels uncomfortable as well. I'm gonna hit this 35 warning sign right here. We should start slowing down because as soon as we pass this 35, we're speeding. Boom, now we're speeding. So I'm gonna take over. This is a pretty disappointing fail. Look to your right, you can see the truck coming. My car's 0. Now it's gonna lurch forward a little bit, so I'm gonna take over and press the brake. This is pretty disappointing that the car even moved at all. It's no reason that car should have proceeded anywhere forward with that visibility. Supposedly we can't read signs, no turn on red. The car is going to then start to proceed forward, so I'll just take over and not let it make the right on red. A little bit of confusion on the car here. Can't find the correct lane on the right to make the right. It's indicating right at 400 feet, now 300, but it's staying in this left turn lane. I was prepared to let it wait and see if it was going to correct itself, but I looked back and there was another car coming, so I'm going to take over and make the right. Waiting to merge on the highway, I didn't like how close my car was getting to the truck, so I just took over and then manually got back onto the highway. 2 back-to-back incidences I think were poorly handled by the car. SUV on the left is going to cut off this truck from being able to get over from all this merging traffic on the right. I take over because I know I want to get out of that lane as quickly as possible, because this truck wants to get over to the left lane as well, and my car is probably going to cut him off as well. So I don't think this was as well handled as probably the car could have done. So some improvements probably there. A few seconds later, we have another merging incident. Car's coming from the right. Van's going to almost probably cut him off. It slows down, but I know as soon as this truck ahead of me merges and he gets past the truck, my car is going to probably then try and cut off the semi from getting back in the right lane. So I'm going to disengage to give him the space and room to get back into the right lane. So this is another case where I think FSD probably was not going to handle this situation as well as it would have needed to.
Until recently, this was a stop sign that converted into a roundabout. Let's see how the car handles this. It's got these weird yellow lines.
I know. I'm not really sure what all that's about. You know, as I pointed out to you before, the artist took down his sculpture in the center because people just kept mowing it down.
Yeah, weird. Huh.
It's like no one understands how to do a roundabout. Just go straight.